This is Bob. Today Bob isn't going to be fighting in a LEGO trench battle because today I'm building a WW1 Winter Truce in LEGO. I'm sure you've all seen the countless adverts showing British and German soldiers playing football in no man's land. And in case you haven't, well, that's a thing that has happened. Quality facts and history. But how much do you really know about it? This is where we begin, and would you look at this, some lovely cork background to make my videos slightly less boring. As you can see, I've got two 32x32 base plates, and of course those will be joined together. This will be the base plate we are using for the build. Now, at the minute, I'm dangerously low on LEGO parts, and that's because I've decided to keep my LEGO World War II Operation Husky build, also my LEGO World War II Soviet propaganda, and of course my LEGO vs Minecraft speed build. Now, you might be wondering, where's the problem? Because all of those are, well, they're not very big builds. The problem is that. Over there. This is a massive LEGO trench battle, and I really can't be bothered disassembling it, but today I'm going to have to. And because I really don't want to do it, I'm gonna make you watch me. Because it's the season to be jolly, I don't know. Right, let's just do it. Okay, that is the British minifigures. Now, speaking of British minifigures, I have some new LEGO World War I minifigures, which I have not yet showed you. So, let's see. Oh, I need to bring the cameras over again.
5 minutes later.
So, accompanying our lovely Bob, I've also got this officer, which appears to be, let's just say he's a referee for the football match, okay? He's gonna be the ref. Again, let's take all of their weapons away because this is supposed to be a truce. They're friendly, they're happy. Of course, I've also got Blackadder over here, who again, we will of course strip him of his weapon. He's gonna be our striker up front center. But then I've also got some new LEGO minifigures, which you've never seen before. This guy is a British general. I'm not sure if he's supposed to be historical or not. I think his name was Lord Brightheart or something. I don't know if he is real. And then I've also got this RAF World War I pilot. Now again, I'm not sure how useful he's gonna be on a football match with infantry in no man's land, but it's a new LEGO minifigure nonetheless. Not gonna lie, I really like this new cork background that we've got. So that's the first 5 LEGO minifigures on Britain FC. I've also got some other minifigures, but I will show you those later on, because guess what? We've got to continue salvaging the build. Content. Right, let's move the cameras again. Now, the next logical step is to salvage all of the Germans. Again, speaking of German LEGO World War I minifigures, I've got even more new ones. In fact, actually, there's only 2, so still, I'll show you them anyway. Cameras. So the first German that will be representing Germany FC against Britain in the World War I Football World Cup is this Major, this General Major. He will be going head-to-head against Lord Brightheart. It's going to be the 2 generals, will be the captains of each of the football teams. Who will win? I wonder who won, actually. That would be a great question. Okay, so let's have a lookie. Just to be clear, these are recommendations. These are not my searches. Let's not go to Wikipedia. The real story of the Christmas Truce. This is what we're looking for here. This is the interesting thing. It happened on 1914. It was Christmas. It was the first year of the war, and it didn't happen in any of the following years because by that point, just, I don't know, bitterness, rivalry, and just general depression had set in. You know what I want to find out? Who won the World War I? I really want to know who won. No!
Skill issue.
Well, hey, maybe they won the football match, but they lost the war. Let's continue with the build. I tell you what, we're just gonna make it so that it's Christmas come early. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these horrible things that Anticlimax, a Minecraft YouTuber, bought me. I hate them, but they look sort of Christmassy. And I'm also gonna put on a Christmas jumper. Okay, there we go. Christmas jumper has been equipped. And with all of that nonsense out the way, let's do some building. Grab a few parts, bear with me. Okay, now that we've salvaged the minifigures and we've also salvaged the parts, we've got our generals, or our major and our general, lined up ready for battle. Let's start getting something built, because so far I still haven't built anything. And now I'm going to do something a little bit different for this, and you will see what I mean later in the video. Need more parts. Oh, I hate these slippers. I'm taking the slippers off because I hate them. Okay, so you might be wondering why I'm doing it like this. There is a reason. Later on in the video, I'll put side plates onto it like this, and then I'll build up the terrain on the edge of these side plates to make it look, rather than like a perfect square wall, it will look like it's got like a gradient on it. That's the game plan. Whether or not it turns out how I want is another story. For now, let's just focus on trying to build up a bit of the wall around the outside, and then we can take it from there. Remember when I said I was running low on parts? Oh, you probably couldn't hear anything I said there. I'm running really low on parts. Okay, now that the bottom layer is on, the next few should go a lot quicker because I can kind of just slap them down. I've not got to place those connecting parts all around it. And then for the top layer, we once again need to use these little connecting stud parts. So this is where we're up to so far with the base plate. It looks like a nice little oven tray. Now, just to be clear, you see these exposed studs along here. These are important because what it allows us to do is we can plonk that down here, and then we can start placing things. We can actually fix plates onto the outside of the build, which allows us to detail the outside quite nicely. Now, I'm not sure what colors I'm going to use for this. Okay, so you see, this is what I mean. So rather than just having like a big wall, if I was to put plates all the way along, oh, almost dropped it. If I was to put plates all the way along here, I can then detail the outside of the build quite nicely. Now, the idea being is that I can then gradient this to make it look like it's nice terrain coming down either side. I'm just not sure what colors I'm going to use for it. Originally, I was going to use white. All of my white parts are in that. So, I guess we use brown, which you know what that means. In case you didn't know what that means, it means more salvaging. So let's show the camera where we're up to, shall we? So you'd clicked on this video thinking you were gonna get to see me build a World War I football Christmas Day mock, but no. Instead, you see how much bigger this is when you get close to it. It looks small over there. It's massive. Now today is an important day because after 5 long years on YouTube, I am finally releasing an merch. This will be one in a set of 5 Scot plushies which I plan on creating, which are based on the LEGO minifigures in my Scots plastic channel banner. Now because they are made to order, it will be limited edition, so if you want to collect a set of 5, then you need to get this guy here. I'm not very good at marketing and sales, am I? Anyway, get the Scot plushie, back to the video. Why did I do that again? Should we do some building? So I've got a bunch of new cool toys. I've got a Mark IV British land ship. I've also got a German A7V. And then to go with the German tank, I've also got 2 German LEGO minifigures, specifically World War I tank drivers. And then again for the Mark IV, I've got British World War I tank drivers, which look just as nice. Both of these are going to be in the next video. They were both given to me, by the way, by Brick by Design. So thanks again to him, and stay tuned for that. I've also got on top of those, I've got this new German World War I minifigure, which we will use. I don't really know much about him, other than he is a minifigure, he is German, and he is new. And I've also got 3 Frenchies, which won't make it into this video, but I thought it would be interesting to show anyway. We have got a French World War I pilot. We have got a, oh, his helmet has fallen off, but we have got a French World War I tank driver, as well as his helmet, which fell off, and then a French World War I, an early war infantryman. Again, we're not going to use those in this video, but they all look really, really nice. They're new and I wanted to show them. So before we build the football match, let's first flip the base plates over and pick our 12 aside. No, it's 11 aside. Football is 11 aside. And of course, we're going to have captain of the German football team is going to be Mr. General Fritz. Let's go with their, sorry, Major Fritz. Opposing Major Fritz is going to be General Tommy, is the name we're going to go for, okay? We've of course got Blackadder. We've of course got Bob from the intro of the video. Now, I do have the German minifigure box here, so let's pick out some players, shall we? This guy's looking pretty beefy. He's looking pretty angry. So that's our second German player. We've got a German medic here, which can be our 3rd German player. This guy will, you know, if it's anything like my school football, this guy's gonna really have his work cut out for him. Let's see, who else have we got? I'll tell you what, actually, no, he shouldn't have that helmet, though. No, we can't have him, because he's got an M16 helmet, and this was 1914. Yeah, you know what, let's get them consistent. It's nice and consistent, so they all got the same headdress. Let's just start padding out this team. Oh, real quick, by the way, to any of you Americans that call American football, never using your feet other than to kick it, you should call your sport handball. I know that's going to get a lot of you upset, and that is why I said it. Right, for the British team, oh, of course, we've got to get the Gordon Highlanders in action here. Figuratively speaking, these guys are ready for war. Now, right, let's flip her over. There we go. Okay, first I'm going to grab some brown parts to do the outside here. Okay, let's see if this even fits. Wait, what? Am I being an idiot? So both of our teams lined up ready to go head to head in the football World War I Cup Truce Winter Day. Then let's do some research. Yeah, there we go. That is the famous quote. It'll all be over by Christmas. I think that's why there was like this Christmas truce, because by the time it was 1915, 16, 17 and it came around to Christmas, the hope of it being a quick war was completely gone and everyone's spirits were dashed. So whilst it is all fun and game doing this mock and I'm having well, it's an interesting experience so far, I think it is worth remembering why this was such a significant event and shedding some light on it. So we're learning as we go. Germany versus Britain, 1914, and the Germans won 3-2. Again, they did also lose the war. Scrolling through some of this here, it really does give you a little bit of a window into a very, very different time. This is what you'd expect to see. In fact, I suspect that's the Gordon Highlanders, actually. Highlanders fraternizing with German soldiers on Rue de Quinnes sector of the front during Christmas Truce 1914. Not every section of the network engaged in Yuletide ceasefire. There we go. That's my regiment, by the way. That is my regiment. It is an interesting point as well, though, because whilst there were these Christmas truces, some regiments, some sections, some commanders didn't actually let their men go out fraternize with the enemy because they didn't want them to drop their guard or lose morale or lose the will to fight, because as soon as you humanize the enemy, suddenly it's a lot more difficult to then the next day go kill them. And that's exactly what happened. Pretty crazy.
Tomorrow.
Okay, so it's a new day and the horrible jumper is gone and the build behind me looks like it's been hit by a grenade. Now there is a reason for this and I'll show you why. It's because we're about to make some incredibly quick progress because I've got a lot of things prepared. Take note of this empty base plate here that, you know, not much has been done to it. And instead of telling you what I'm gonna do, how about I just show you? Makes it sound way more epic. Okay, so ignoring for a second that I forgot about the midsection here, let's start getting on the top pieces. This is gonna go pretty quickly compared to the mincing around I had on the first day of building. There was way too much mincing and now it's time for actually making some progress. Okay, so here you go. Now you can see we have finally got a platform from which we can actually build off of. Now at this point, you might be wondering what I'm going to do to finish off the walls on the outside because, of course, yesterday I kind of messed up. Let me show you. From the last World War I LEGO trench build, you might remember these kind of like the German concrete trench walls that I made. Well, this might come as a surprise. Well, in fact, it probably won't. What I'm basically going to do is just put them all the way along the outside. Now, they are actually pushed off a little bit. I'm not sure how easily it is to see that. They're actually pushed off by the bottom stud. But actually, I think it kind of looks nice. Okay, that is the first side of the wall. It does look all right, actually. It's not perfect, but you know what? Gives it a little bit more something. Rather than just a generic wall, it's now kind of a tiled wall. I don't know, actually. We're powering through this, finally actually doing some building. The base layer that we're then going to build up on top of is not going to be this tan. It's going to be the salvaged parts that I have ripped out of the trench build that's in pieces over there. And there we go, now we have got our dark brown terrain from which we can start to build our football pitch at long last. If we come from the build and we just, I don't know, just do me a favor and just forget about not Stalingrad for a second. And then we come over to our upgraded LEGO minifigure walls. For example, this fine gentleman here. Why is he not playing football? Let's have a look. Who else? Yes, this Gordon Highlander down here with a black eye. We can just remove his weapons. There's also the man on crutches. Surely should be fielded on the football pitch. This guy here. Basically, there's just a bunch of these dudes that we could be fielding that for some reason I didn't, and instead I just started fielding all these like basic chump guys, like the chod, so to speak. So we're gonna swap a few of them out. Okay, so that is 1, 2, and 3. Bear with me. First in the mix, we have this gentleman with the tank gewehr. Now, if I just remove the tank gewehr, then take a look at this. He's like a nicely postured. It's like he's asking for the ball to be passed to him or pointing out one of the enemy defenders. I don't know. Basically, we're gonna get him in. Then also, I've got this guy here, who is a German officer from World War I. Again, we can probably take his binocs away and we can strip him of his Luger. And then he too also looks like he's got a bit of an action pose. These guys almost look synchronized. And then third and final, we have this famous gentleman here from the previous build as well. Now, we will happily leave him with his rifle on his back because at least it's, you know, he's not got it at arms, but we will replace the M16 helmet with a Pickelhaube because again, this is 1914 and the M16 helmet, M16, 16 being 1916, would not have been in place. So there we go. We've got 3 new, better upgraded footballers for the German football team. And that, I'm sure, will make our German general, or major rather, Major, what was it, Fritz? Major Fritz is going to be happy with that decision. Oops. It looks like a dance troupe or something, I don't know. Now, we will decide the rest of the German footballers later on, but these are the key individuals that we're going to use for now. As for the British, we're going to hold on to the officer who's got armed directions. We'll hold on to Bob and Blackadder, and of course, we will also hold on to General Tommy? Incredible names. But for the time being, we'll bench these guys and see who else we can find. And so next, I'm gonna choose some more British minifigures to join the British football team. Okay, so we have got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first new member joining the British team is a soldier with his weapon slung through his front. He's got an ammo crate or something, and he's also holding a Webley revolver. So again, we will just strip him of the ammo crate and the revolver, and then all of a sudden, we've got a very engaged football player. After that, we've then got what looks to be a casualty on crutches, and so I thought it'd be funny to include him on the team for no reason, really. Then we've got a medic with a syringe. Maybe the British footballers are doping, I don't know. And then we'll of course get the Gordon Highlander with a black eye. We'll strip him of his bat and also his Webley, and then he'll be almost asking for a pass. We've now got 8 British footballers. Again, we will find the final 3 slightly later on, but for the time being, they need a pitch to play on. Again, this is a 1914 pitch, which I imagine will have helmets to mark where the posts went, maybe rifles. Yeah, it's not going to be the most sophisticated football pitch. It's literally in the middle of no man's land, so let's get building and see what it looks like. So here's what I think we should do. I think I use this box here, which has got quite a few white bits in it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start trying to sporadically place down some snow around the outside. Again, because the middle's being played on, it's got football pitch on it. It's going to be trampled, pressed in. It's going to be more mud and dirt than snow. Okay, that will do for the white for now. Roughly speaking, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get like the outsides to look like they're more snow built up. And in the middle, I'm going to try and get tiles to make it look like the ground's being trodden down and stepped on because they're playing a football game there. That's what I'm going for. We'll see if it works. Okay, so that is starting to come along a little bit nicer. Hopefully you can kind of see the vision for it. The next thing I'm going to start doing is start trying to get some of the tiles down on the middle. Again, we really want this to look as close to a football pitch as possible. Though on the football pitch, we're also going to start trying to get some dark tan pieces. Now this really, I can't stress enough how this really honestly is a trust the process type deal, because I really hate how it looks currently, and I'm kind of just hoping that it starts to look less horrible. And then let's come over with some slightly smaller tiles. When building Lego mocks like this, it can be really hard to tell how it's going, like objectively. It kind of, I don't know. Personally, I feel like the biggest problem here is the dark tan, because it kind of like, it minimizes the blend on the snow because it overpowers the snow. Or I don't know, like it's just like there's just too much going on. There's too many different bits blended. Yeah, this is looking better already. Okay, now we are getting somewhere. I think this is starting to look a little bit more like what we were aiming for. And the stage has finally been set for the World War I football match in no man's land. So let's introduce the teams. Now, before we place the football teams, we first need to place the goalposts that they're actually going to be using. And so here we have the German side, and what better way to indicate what team's goalpost it is than dropping down a helmet, if of course it will stay. So now that we've got the goalpost down, we've got the Germans on this side and the British on the other side, let's now introduce the two teams. Leading the German football team, of course, we have Major Fritz. We then have a German officer who will be giving a handshake to Bob. After that, we've got a defender at the back. We've also got a guy who's sprinting upfield. One guy's falling, another guy is, I don't really know what he's doing. This guy missed the memo because he's got 2 grenades. This guy's kind of just standing around and really not pulling his weight. We've also got another German officer who is getting really into the action, and a guy right next to him pointing in the same direction, probably to the foul that is taking place. And that, of course, is being perpetrated by our final German soldier, who will be sidekicking one of the British soldiers on the field. Now, for the opposition, the British will be led by General Tommy. We've also got a guy with a weapon strapped around his waist, calling out directions, a Gordon Highlander with a black eye getting stuck in, a guy for some reason, I don't know, is he doping? Who knows? A man with the crutches, Blackadder, an officer giving directions, Bob, who will be giving the football match's introductory handshake, potentially a goalkeeper, somebody who's maybe fallen over, and a guy who's sprinting. So with both of our football teams introduced and ready to do battle, or rather have a game of football in no man's land, let's now place the teams. Does this look alright? Alright. So each of the generals, or rather the major for the Germans, will be the goalkeeper. So let's get our German goalkeeper in here, and again, our British goalkeeper over here. Now the goals are a slightly different size and they're quite wonky. This is probably historically accurate because whenever you play schoolyard rules, everyone argues about the size of the goals. Now, there is a handshake which will take place, slightly off to the side. Let's get, again, so it's Bob and this German gentleman are having a handshake, potentially prematurely. I'm not sure why they're having it now, but they are. Okay, so here's what we'll do. The guy with the black eye can be the guy who has taken an injury on the field. He's calling out for a ref, but there isn't one. This German gentleman here has decided to take advantage. So much for the Christmas spirit. This guy's trying to, I don't know, render medical aid, shall we say, only to be kicked in the head. This is completely against the idea of the Christmas Day, like, football game, but it's what we're going for, all right? This guy's trying to run away. He's put in a bad tackle and he's trying to run away. And this guy's chasing him down to beat him up. Whilst the guy who was tackled is being assaulted by the Germans. Maybe the guy who brought the grenades actually had the right idea in the end. Oh, I've got a wonderful idea. Okay, so what I have done is I have completely ruined the idea of a Christmas football match in no man's land because all hell has broken loose. Here you can see what caused the problem. We've got two German football players running away as a British soldier gives chase. The reason they are running away is because they brutally tackled this British soldier. And as the British are trying to render medical aid and ask for the support of a medic that's close by, for some reason, three Germans have decided they're going to kick him in the head and just generally cause chaos.
Are we the baddies?
Behind that, you can see that the German is pointing medical attention. The medic is on his way to support, not yet realized that all hell has broken loose in the middle of the football match, but next to him, another British soldier has spotted something arguably even worse on the other side of the pitch. Yes, that's right, this British soldier here is trying to escape on crutches as a German chases him with grenades. In the middle of the pitch, completely oblivious obviously, we have a German officer and Bob shaking hands as Blackadder watches over them. And then finally, the guy who decided he didn't want to play at the back might be the only one who made a good decision because he's being pointed to the front by his officer and appears to be refusing to go. Kind of understandable. So this is what I'm saying happened. Instead of the Germans winning 3-2, all hell broke loose on the Christmas Day truce and it turned into a bar fight in the middle of no man's land. This is a creative interpretation of events and obviously is not what happened. However, I just had a little fun with it, you know? The reality is the Germans won 3-2, but again, they lost the war, so anyway. Don't forget about my plushie, which is going live today, the day that this video is getting released. Make sure you, what should I say? I'm supposed to say something, like, you just get it, I suppose. Anyway, thank you and goodbye.